Right, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2. Okay. Right, we're up and running, I think. Oh, hang on a minute. That wasn't supposed to happen. Right, okay. 1 moment. There we go. Right, hello once again, YouTube. Andy with you. Becoming a bit of a habit, this, isn't it? So this evening's hangout. Oh, my lad there, by the way, listen to some music. That's why there's a lot of that going on. Right, tonight's hangout is called Calling Out Eriol Tolkien. Now, I think Eriol Tolkien is a stock account of David Eriol Hickman, probably, and there's another YouTuber as well, I think, is part of this sock. Haven't quite worked out who the actual person is who owns the stock accounts, but hey ho, I'm not really bothered about that. There's more important things to talk about. So first and foremost, I'd like to thank those people wishing me a happy birthday for tomorrow in a few hours time, and less than an hour's time actually. 50 years of age, eh? Goodness me. Oh, half a century. Who'd have thought I'd have made it? Well, right, so after last night's hangout was received quite extensively, it's had over approaching 500 views at present, and there was a lot of comments left on that hangout, and there's a few I just want to pick up on, and most of them are very kind of fairly shocking in a way. Right, I've got to get this right now, because apparently I watched someone hangout yesterday, and the last half of it appeared that people watching me but listening to the audio from the video I was playing on YouTube, still trying to get used to this Windows 8.1. It's totally different from the Mac format, and very different from Windows XP, which I used to have years ago, many moons ago, very old now. I'll try and share the screen, and I will be playing a video in this, just a short one, just to cement my argument to Eriol Tolkien, or David Eriol Hickman, whoever it is. Anyway, right, we need to go to that one there, I think. Hopefully you're seeing that now. Yep, indeed you are. Right. So we're now going to go to my video, and I just want to read some of the comments. Right, so we've had 482 hits within 24 hours. That's not bad for my standards. And I want, as you read down, people like from Wayne, from Jumped Jim, Alex Botten, from Eriol Tolkien. He's kind of like one of the main perpetrators who I'm sort of going to go after at the moment. And go down a bit more. I mean, all of these comments, Mark and Neuer as well, all of these comments, okay, there is not one kind of comment which tried to refute any of the arguments which I was putting forward for creation. None at all. Not one. Not that I can see. And when I do question some people, Eriol Tolkien, for instance, when he's kind of comes up and he says, look, you know, you're an idiot and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that, the normal kind of rhetoric you get from militant atheists. I like atheists. I think every household should have one. Right. Yes, Scientist Sam. I kind of wish I had a link to this idiocy. Well, perhaps he could have told us the origin of life. Well, if that's the case, if he could do, then makes him better than probably all the other scientists uh, which we have to date who've tried and failed, tried and failed, tried and failed. Now I'm looking for Tolkien's remarks, and I just want to show you or show him up for the kind of short-sightedness which he is. I mean, look at this comment here. Bill is the C word. I mean, that is schoolboy garbage. That really is. I mean, how is that productive? Plus 8 thumbs up. How is that productive in any way at all? It's just pointless. It's just pointless garbage. And this is just what this is the scrape under the bottom of the barrel internet YouTube. This is really sad. It really is sad. Now, where's his comments? Has he gone and deleted them? Those particular ones. Just bear with me a moment. I can hear a minute. Can't tick that one. Okay. Just bear with me a moment. I'm going to get to this. And then I can really go to town on this guy. Let's say hello to my friend David down in Canterbury. Hi, David. Hello, Bill. Brother Bill. And they are good people. David, Eriol, where is it? Eriol Tolkien, isn't it? Eriol Tolkien. Where is it? I can find it on my phone, but I can't find it on here. That's not it. That's not it. Just bear with me, people. It's going to get good in a minute. Just believe me. I'm going to totally destroy this chap. 6 replies there. None of them. 11 replies on that one. Is any of them? None of them. 3 replies. Gluteus is about. No. Nothing of any sort of importance or intelligence comes out of Gluteus's mouth, by the way. I mean, none of these comments are anything kind of scientifically trying to refute what my hangout was actually about. The latter stages of it. It's about Panda Man Bill. I should have got some screenshots, shouldn't I? Then again, you might not have believed me. I think he may have deleted them. I don't think I can find it. I don't think I can find it. I think he's gone and deleted them, you know. 37 replies. Let's have a look in here. I think that was my friend David talking to somebody else. Right. What has he done with his replies? Don't tell me he's gone and deleted them, please. I should have screen grabbed them. But I don't know how to screen grab on this just yet. Print screen, isn't it? Yeah.
Or print PRINT-SCR.
Right. Yeah, I'll get used to it. I just had a busy day today. I've got to go to work again in a couple of hours. I've got to go to Gatwick Airport. So I'll be falling asleep on the M25, crashing my car, turning it over, bursting into flames, and I'm going to fry to death. Probably. I need some Red Bull. David Eriol Hickman. That is the same as Eriol Tolkien. I'm sure it's the same guy. My replies. I'm opening everything up now. I'm getting a bit desperate here. I'm getting a bit desperate here. Look at that. F you liar. I mean, what's the point? What is the point of that? That's just a pathetic. That is just a pathetic, clutching at straws reply. Such a sad person. All 33 hour. What we got down here then? Come on, baby. Where are you? Where are you, Tolkien? I'm going to rip your ass, mate. "13 replies. I'll tell you what, he's deleted them. He's gone in there and he's deleted. He's gone and deleted them. Bugger. Just going to go through it once more. If I can somehow get him on G+. This here, I might be able to find him on G+. I might be able to find him on G+. Snidey little git. Well, that's one of his. That one's still up. No, that was yesterday. The ones which were today, he's gone and deleted them. Oh, what a fucking chicken. What a fucking chicken. Fucking arsehole. Basically what it was, he was kind of mouthing off. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing now. There's no point in trying to find it. He's deleted it. What a fucking chicken. Basically what it was, he was mouthing off, you know, the normal kind of rhetoric you get from militant atheists, people who don't want to know, they're not really interested in looking for the truth. All they're here to do is just to troll people like myself, people who are honestly searching for the truth. Myself, Dave, Bill, other people as well. And there are a few atheists out there who are searching for the truth, but most of them, you know, are not. They're just on here just to troll people. It's their sport. It's what they do. They lead very, very sad lives. And basically what Eriol was saying, calling me out, and I said to him, you know, we're talking about life itself. How did life actually get started on planet Earth? And he was saying about it was amino acids. And then I said to him, this has got to be there somewhere. I'm really desperately trying to find this. Still haven't learned how to use this bloody computer. And I said to him, do you understand what dehydration synthesis is? Dehydration synthesis or dehydration reaction. And I basically then, because he was talking about the Miller-Urey experiment back in 1952, 1953. Apparently, several years after the experiment, they then looked back at the evidence and there was more amino acids in the chamber. And I said to him, it doesn't matter how many amino acids you have, it matters not. They can't synthesize together by using the process, the mechanism of dehydration synthesis or dehydration reaction. Because no matter how many molecules of amino acids you have, they have not got the ability to organize themselves into a correct string called a polypeptide to create proteins. There is no information within amino acids, left-handed ones and right-handed ones. Only certain types are, good for life. So they've got to sort themselves out somehow and organize themselves into a polypeptide. Each person or each one, say for instance you've got a class or a school of 1,000 kids, that's a big protein. And each child has got to be in the right spot, male, female, all in the right correct sequence. And like 20 different types or up to 50 different types of children within the school have to be in the correct sequence to create a protein. If one of those children, if one of those amino acids are incorrectly placed, then the whole thing breaks down, it doesn't work, right? But the children themselves or the amino acids themselves don't have the ability to organize themselves into the correct sequence. And he was saying, this is it. This is how life got started. Well, it's not. That is not the case. And if he had done his study and if he had just done a little bit of work, a little bit of studying on this subject, he would have found out for himself. Now, there's a professor years ago called Dean Kenyon. I'm not going to screen share now, because if you don't believe me, perhaps you'll take it from someone who does. I'm going to try and get this right now. Right, I'm going to turn it up, so I'm not going to bother taking my mic off. Hopefully you can hear this. I don't think you're going to be able to hear that, to be honest. Let me just, because this is quite important. This calls out this guy big time. This calls out Eriol, Tolkien big time.
During the late 1960s and throughout the 70s and early 80s, Dean Kenyon was one of the leading chemical evolutionary theorists in the world. And like others in his field, he was trying to explain how life on Earth began through a purely natural process.
At the time that biochemical predestination came out, I and my co-author were totally convinced that we had the scientific explanation for origins.
Many scientists embraced Kenyon's ideas, and over the next 20 years, Biochemical Predestination became a best-selling text on the theory of chemical evolution. Yet 5 years after the book's publication, Kenyon quietly began to doubt the plausibility of his own theory.
Well, this is where it gets quite interesting, people. So again, you're going to have to pay attention here. For those people who are really seeking for the answers or the non-answer, okay, Here's a professor who was brilliant. They called him the Charles Darwin of our time, Dean Kenyon. So he's a person with PhDs. He's got lots of qualifications. As long as your arm, he's much more qualified than Eriol Tolkien or whatever his name is, whoever owns that sock account. Much more qualified than Mark Anoia, than Wayne Hudson, than Alex Botton and Aaron Ra, and all you so-called very intelligent people out there. Okay, if you want to get to the truth and you really want to know the truth, because time is short, you've got to start listening to people in the know.
It was during that whole period of time that my doubts about certain aspects of the evolutionary account became apparent. When coming into contact with a powerful counter-argument given to me by one of my students, and I could not refute that counter-argument.
Kenyon was challenged to explain how the first proteins could have been assembled without the help of genetic instructions.
All right, just one moment here. Mark Anoia said Andy plus David Eriol Hickman doesn't delete his posts. He was Eriol Tolkien actually, but it's probably the same person. Only show on G+ and not on the video. This was actually on the video. It was on my phone, so it was on the video. He's gone back into the video. He's deleted them and the whole conversation, because I've been down it, spent 5 minutes trying to find it, and I can't find it anymore. He's been in there. He's deleted it. I've been on G+. I can see his earlier posts, which were yesterday, but the ones which were today, they're not on G+. He's gone in there and he's deleted them. Just goes to show that he's not the intelligent person which you possibly look up to. It's really very, very disingenuous and just a total waste of time.
And so my doubts about whether amino acids could order themselves into meaningful biological sequences on their own without pre-existing genetic material being present just reached, I guess for me, the intellectual breaking point sometime near the end.
Play that little bit again. I just want you to listen, okay, what you have to say.
To meaningful biological sequences.
Kenyon was challenged to explain how the first proteins could have been assembled without the help of genetic instructions.
And so my doubts about whether amino acids could order themselves into meaningful biological sequences on their own without pre-existing genetic material being present.
It's exactly what I was telling you just before I played this video. They can't organize themselves into a polypeptide to create proteins. There is no information within amino acids to organize themselves into anything at all. Once you got the cell, once you got deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, once you got the cell complete, then the cell itself, the information within the cell, within the double helix, the information then sorts out that problem. But you need the functioning cell before you actually can have dehydration synthesis.
Just reached, I guess for me, the intellectual breaking point sometime near the end of the decade of the 70s.
As Kenyon reevaluated his theory, new biochemical discoveries further weakened his conviction that amino acids could have organized themselves into proteins.
The more I conducted my own studies, including a period of time at NASA Ames Research Center, the more it became apparent that there were multiple difficulties with the chemical evolution account. And further experimental work showed that amino acids do not have the ability to order themselves into any biologically meaningful sequences. And further experimental work showed that amino acids do not have the ability to order themselves experimental work showed that amino acids do not have the ability to order themselves into any biologically meaningful sequences.
Basically, what he's saying there, that the Miller-Urey experiment in 1953 was a complete flop. But people today is still being taught in schools that this is the start of life. This is how life began. And it's absolutely not true.
Faced with mounting difficulties in his own theory, and a growing body of scientific data about the importance of DNA, Kenyon was forced to confront the absolute necessity of genetic information.
The more I thought about the alternative that was being presented in the criticism and the enormous problem that all of us who worked on this field had neglected to address, the problem of the origin of genetic information itself, then I really had to reassess my whole position regarding origins.
Chance, natural selection, and his own theory of self-organization had all failed to explain the origin of genetic information.
To reassess my whole position regarding origins.
Chance, natural selection, and his own theory of self-organization had all failed to explain the origin of genetic information. Now Kenyon saw only one alternative.
There is only one possible alternative if evolution, if abiogenesis is not the case, if life cannot come from itself, then it has to come from extrinsic values. Intrinsically, it cannot happen. That is obvious. Therefore, it has to come extrinsically, has to come outside, has to come from an information giver and a life giver.
Have not the slightest chance of a chemical evolutionary origin for even the simplest.
Only one alternative.
We have not the slightest chance of a chemical evolutionary origin for even the simplest of cells. So the concept of the intelligent design of life was immensely attractive to me and made a great deal of sense, as it very closely matched the multiple discoveries in molecular biology.
In the years since Kenyon's rejection of chemical evolution, science has revealed the details of an entire system of information processing that bears the hallmarks of intelligent design.
Do many of your colleagues support your new position?
Well, most of my colleagues, I would have to say the majority of them are not in support of my views on origin, my new views on origin, first life, and on evolution. There are some of those who are also not in support of my being able to discuss these matters in class. There are a few who are sympathetic to an open and free discussion of these matters, although not all of those are sympathetic to my views themselves. A couple are. I'm not the only one who in the science faculty here who would have views like I do about origins. As to why there is this attitude on the part of the faculty, I'm not sure that I could give a quick answer. I mean, you have to ask them, of course, but I think deeply ingrained habits of thought is a factor. When one has been trained to accept and to really be only aware of one particular explanation of origins, the Darwinian account and the standard of chemical evolutionary material, and not ever having read a single critical paper, or certainly not having read a single article defending intelligent design, perhaps it's not surprising that there would be this kind of reluctance to support this. I suspect that some of them may themselves suspect that a rather major reorientation of thinking would follow if they were to give serious consideration to the literature on this subject, and have said, well, I just don't want to do that, and it's going to involve something that I'm not prepared to do in the way of major reassessment of some parts of biology, although I believe much of biology will remain intact.
Why is an intelligent design or creationist interpretation of the scientific data not acceptable to many scientists?
Well, I think we have here an example of, again, the deeply ingrained habits of thought that are connected with Darwinism and neo-Darwinism, and this commitment to philosophical naturalism, that the only permissible explanations in science are those that involve a observable and testable natural processes. And when you move into the area of intelligent design, although you argue to intelligent design through a dense field, if you will, of empirical data, and it's only after extended encounter with those data that you come out at the end with an intelligent design conclusion. Nevertheless, it makes many scientists uneasy because this is thought of, this causation, intelligent causation, as ultimately untestable by the traditional methods of science. So if you define science as excluding the possibility of intelligent cause at the outset, then any proposal that is made, however many data back it, is ruled out of court from the beginning. So.
Does academic freedom allow you to discuss the difficulties of Darwinism and scientific naturalism? If not, why is Darwinism and naturalism protected from criticism?
Well, ideally, academic freedom should allow one to discuss the difficulties not only of Darwinism, but of any scientific theory. Why should this be so? It may have something to do with cultural dominance. It may be an issue of power. In order to allow an equal voice to the intelligent design position, one has got to share the stage with a view that may be anathema to the scientific establishment, and yet to do this would I think greatly assist the progress of research on this vital area of origins, which after all is a most difficult problem and could benefit from an open and vigorous debate.
In Kenyon's interviews, we get an insight into the pressure within academic circles there is to go along with evolutionary theory without questioning. Scientists hide behind such statements as the supernatural cannot be used as an explanation for any event or process in the universe. Everything can be explained by natural events. Note, this is a philosophical, not a testable scientific statement. Science should be about discovering the truth, and it does seem unscientific not to consider all the possibilities. Evolutionists will continue to modify their theory to try to keep it viable, in spite of the impossibility of the information in DNA coming about without a creator. Kenyon realized this only after being challenged by a student and was able to break free of his academic indoctrination. God is in communication with his creation. The information in DNA is God's instructions to his creation how to sustain itself until he returns. How much more important is the information that God has given to us in the Bible? With this information, we have the choice to free ourselves from sin and have a relationship with our Creator God through Jesus Christ. For as in Adam all die, so also in Christ shall all be made alive. 1 Corinthians 15:22.
Right. Good video, that. Good video. I liked it, and I also subscribed to a channel. Right, I'm now going to put my headset back in so you can hear me better. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yes, here we go. So yeah, I enjoyed that video. You bombing it again, are you? Trying to bomb it again, I'll just block him out. So that was a good video. I enjoyed that video. So somehow we've got to try and break free from this, you know, the lies of which we've been told and taught in the school. You know, if you believe in evolution, you've been indoctrinated, basically. I was taught evolution. I believed evolution up until I had many questions which I was asking my teachers years ago, and they simply could not answer them. Then you know, if they can't answer the questions, then you know that there's something wrong with the theory. And I came to this conclusion at a fairly young age. I kind of wanted to believe evolution because, you know, we see kind of things change and adapt, you know, and that's what I was taught, that was evolution, but it's only adaptation. And when you try and come to the origin of stuff, abiogenesis, for instance, although, it wasn't really taught much about abiogenesis years ago, but, you'd ask a teacher, where did life come from? And he would talk about Miller-Urey experiment. It failed. And then he'd try and talk about something else. It fails. And when you go right down the line, well, where is the actual evidence for evolution? And it's really, it is sadly lacking. And we know where there's information. If our cells lacked information, if there was no information whatsoever in our cells, then you probably say, yes, we have evolved somehow. But when you look into the single replicating cell, what you can see in there is jam-packed, full of huge amounts of information, And you have to ask yourself, can any natural process intrinsically make its own information within a cell to do exactly what what the cell actually does? And the answer has to be absolutely no. It cannot do that. It's the same as a car, although it's not a biological system. It's the same with absolutely anything at all. You walk down the street, you look at something, it's full of information, it's designed, it works well, it functions well, it works properly, it's got information, it's been designed, it's been built. We are exactly the same. We are no different from that, although we have a lot more information within ourselves than the best computers. Huge amounts of information we have. We are super duper computers. That's what we are. So you have to ask yourself the question, where actually is the evidence of what I believe in if I'm an evolutionist? Where, go right back to the start of the Big Bang of the universe. Where did that come from? There's no answer there. With God, we've got an answer. Life itself, if I believe in evolution or abiogenesis, life came from a primordial soup. Okay, where is it? Can't see it. Was a first biotic microorganism, prebiotic microorganism? Where is that? It's just a theory. Never seen it. We now know that life cannot come from non-life. It cannot create itself. We know about these things. That is what science does, and science tells us. But are we willing to accept them and embrace them? Are we willing to move on and shake off the old Darwinian style stuff and move on and go forward with this? With God, we have an answer. With what we know about it now, we got no answer at all. We've been trying to crack the very rusty, painful nut, which is life, how life actually began. And we are no nearer cracking that nut now than we were when we first started hundreds of years ago. But we do know things. We know that life cannot come from non-life because we've tried and tested, failed. Tried, tested, failed every single time. We've tried and we've failed. We've been trying this now for hundreds of years, mixing all kinds of chemicals up, what we believe that the early Earth's atmosphere was like. And we failed every single time. It points to a information giver extrinsically from the outside coming in. We are wonderfully made, exactly what the Bible says. And if we are truly seeking for the truth and we really want to know the answer, every person, I believe, knows God. Every person knows God, but knows that there is a God. Every person knows that there is a God, but not every person knows God. Only some people know God. I know God. Dave knows God. Dave Weiser, Bill Cuthbert knows God. Raw, other people as well. G-Man, we all know God. You won't like that, but it's the truth. And we've got to accept the truth no matter what form it is. Okay. So, I'm coming after you guys. There's more of these videos coming. A lot more of these videos coming, tackling all the things which atheists believe in. Right? It's a useless, dead philosophy. There's no hope. There's no joy in atheism. But when you embrace God, God is the creator of heaven and earth. He's a creator of the universe. He's a creator of life. He has a purpose for his creation. We have a future with God. As long as we're willing to embrace that future, that's the big question. Are you willing to embrace the future with God? With your atheism, you live, you die, that is it. But that's not it. God still lives. God is still alive. God has still a future for you, depending where you want to go. Yeah, but God does choose, I must admit that. But you have a choice. You do have a choice down here, because every person knows that God exists. Well, not every person knows God, but you can get to know God in Christ. You know, you just got to repent. You got to shake off your old shackles of atheism and come into the light of hope. That's where we are. That's where Dave is. That's where, you know, Bill is, and that's where we want you to come along. That's where we want you to be. That's the reason why we're here doing what we do. I mean, I don't get paid for this, by the way. I don't monetize my videos. I could be doing other things right now, but you know, the whole purpose of this video is to really to give you people out there a future, a hope, to show you, you know, through science, that what you believe in, what you've been taught, or what you want to believe in is not the case. It's going to lead you into a bad thing, into a bad way. And I don't simply want that for you. I've done the study. I understand these things, you know, and we know about the laws of thermodynamics. I've studied those things. We know that the universe isn't self-made. And I'm honest with that. Much as I perhaps disliked it, first of all, had to be real, had to be true, had to embrace the truth myself, had to move on. Okay, I'm happy with it now. God's the creator. Then we move on to life itself. We've tried it. We've tried to create life, even if we can create life in the lab, and we can create life in the lab. Through cloning and things like this, we can do that now, but it just goes to prove that you need intelligence to create life. We are playing God. But life itself cannot spontaneously arise from intrinsic information, because there's no intrinsic information there in the first place. It has to come extrinsically from the outside coming in. But when you put God into the mix, into the scenario, then you have the ingredients for life, you know. Anyway, and does it say, Adam?
I hope you'll be listening.
I mean, you weren't really. No, you didn't miss much.
Right.
It's pretty boring, actually. Yeah, so you might think that you're intelligent out there, or you know, people like Alex Botton and Wayne Hudson and Mark Anoia and blah blah blah. I'll tell you what we're going to do now. We're just going to go on to my video, and what I want to do, I'm just going to read the comments on this video, and I just want to see if we have got any scientific comebacks to try and refute what I've been saying. I think it's probably what before I'm even looking at it, I think I'm going to go down there and you're going to get things like, you know, you're an idiot, and you know, just some kind of derogatory comments, just sort of, you know, calling me out about my nature, not really about the video or what I'm saying. Let's see if we've got any comments. All right. Show us the ghosts. Right. But not the ghoulies. Right. Very unscientific. I used to use Windows 8 but hated it, went back to yep, don't blame you. Why isn't Jesus helping you find those comments? All right. He's helping with the thumbs up instead. Amen, bro. Keep them coming. Yeah, well done, Bill. You're a good guy, Bill. I love you, brother. There's my good brother, David, here. This should be good for at least 49. Yep, 50. That's right, Dave. Yep, it will be. Doesn't delete his posts. I'm afraid he did delete the posts. The posts were there. And he's gone and deleted them, Mark. And you and this video couldn't get any more like Jason Burns if you tried. Well, if that's the case, then Dean Kenyon is exactly the same, and he's a PhD holder in the field of molecular biology and chemistry and all this kind of thing. Looks like it's a pizza beer. Here's a real schoolboy stuff, isn't it? Hillbilly, whatever. And this right here is why I've been consuming vast quantities of educational vids lately. While more than usual, I admit I like learning shit because of the serious loss of brain cells. Why can't people make some constructive... Okay, achievement unlocked. Burns mode activated. What time is it on, Oz? A pair of stupid proof waders help too. I mean, out of all these people here, which are supposed to be kind of the big hitters and the atheists, the militant atheists, they do nothing but mock and want to pull fun. And there's no serious academic debate here whatsoever. Not one comment. There's not one comment of any. There's not one comment at all from those people who are my biggest critics now about anything which I've said scientifically. Nothing. And that in itself is testimony of what you believe in is just a crock of fucking shit. I'm sorry I swore, but this is really, really disappointing for me. I expected someone to come up and call me out and say, look, Andy, we found the origin of life. It's X, Y, and Z. You can't do it because it's simply not there. It's simply not there. And the reason why you have to try and call me out and call me names is because you don't like what I'm saying. Because you know what? Because you know it's the truth. You know it's the truth. God is real, my friends. There is a judgment coming to you, whether it's going to be today, tomorrow, next year, next month, or after you die. It matters not. Judgment is slowly but surely creeping upon you. Now bear that one in mind. It's going to get you. Death is going to get you. Judgment is going to get you. You might not like it, but it's the truth, and you need to embrace the truth. It's entirely up to you. You can go to a lost eternity. It's entirely up to you. It's your shout. But I don't want your blood on my hands. When I come to judgment, God is going to say to me, and Bill, and David, and other people as well, you tried, and well done for you for trying. Good and faithful servant. Come on in. Welcome us in. And when you die, when you atheists, if you stay in atheism, it's not going to be good for you. You need to seriously think about where your life is going within your atheism. Try and put your pride aside. Your pride is going to take you down to the pit, basically.
Yeah, down to the pit.
It is. Yes, it's going to take you down to the pit. That's where your pride is going to take you. I ditched my pride years ago. And it takes more of a man to ditch your pride and to swallow your pride. And sometimes to say, look, I was wrong. I apologize. But with you guys, your pride is your biggest thing you're holding on to. And it's really not worth holding on to. Because it's going to take you down to the pit. You got to start listening to people like Bill. You got to start listening to people like David, Raw. As much as you dislike Jason, you've got to start listening to Jason as well. And G-Man, you don't like these people. You don't like them because they're men of faith. They are big hitters on the internet with faith, and you don't like that. And they speak the truth, and the truth hurts. But if you embrace the truth doesn't hurt anymore. He doesn't believe what I believe. He believes in eternal hell punishment. He believes in that. I don't believe in that. But at the end of the day, he's trying to get people saved. He's trying to lead people to the truth. And I can't condemn him or whatever for doing that. But You got to embrace the truth. The truth is God exists. There is judgment. Judgment is coming. You can't put it off. You got to face it full on. And you can make judgment your friend and not your enemy. How do you make judgment your friend? You accept God. You accept Christ. You come to Christ. You lose your pride. You become born again. You become a renewed spirit. God can then be your friend. Once you embrace God, once you realize that it is God who is the creator of the universe, he created energy and matter to create the universe. There is no other way. He created life. There is no other way. If he created the universe and he created life, he created you. And he created you for a purpose. He created you to inherit eternity with him. But it's your choice. It is your choice. You choose to disrespect brothers and sisters in Christ. That's what you choose to do. You willingly do that. And you willingly suppress the truth. You need to embrace the truth and make truth your friend. And instead of pushing people away from God, you become a renewed spirit and you bring people to God. Because God is the answer. It's as simple as that. As much as you don't like it at the moment, you will like it once you see the truth for yourself. You can be a renewed person. You can be a more joyful person. You could be a more accepting person. Right. There's a lot more to say on these things, but it's my birthday in 10 minutes' time.
Yeah.
I'll be 50 years of age. Can you believe that? 50 years of age. I've got 25 more years left and that's it, I reckon. Then you'll be over 50 then. Oh, shit. This is how quick time goes, mate. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's just absolutely incredible. I remember when I was, and it wasn't that long ago, when I first got married, when I was 22. Even when I was a kid, I remember all these things. And it seems like yesterday. It is upsetting, but that's just how life is. We can't forever. Hmm? You don't want me to die? Of course, yeah, but I know, but we have to die a physical death so we can inherit the spiritual eternity. We have to. It's all part of the system. It's all part of the big plan. Forever in a world like this. The nature's beautiful, and I love the nature, but it's man is the problem. We are all en masse. A lot of us are walking away from God. I'm trying to turn that around. That's what we're trying to do, and to make the world a better place. And that's what we've got to do. Because this place is not going to get better if you turn away from God. It is not going to. The place is going to get worse because every person does right in their own eyes. But there is a law out there. There are commandments out there. These commandments are for our own good. And they're for our own eternal good. And the rules are to be obeyed. And if you don't obey the rules, it's going to be bad for you. I personally want to obey the rules. It's better for me to do that in the long run. And whilst I'm on the planet, it's better for me. Anyway, stop sharing now. Anyway, guys, I'll stay on for another 6 or 7 minutes, then you can all sing me happy birthday, can't you? Let's just go to, I know what I was going to do. I know what I was going to do. I've got some messages on my latest videos. This one is from Dave, my friend. He says, "Oh dear mum, bless her. Went out yesterday and had a meal. We all had a bit of a get together. There's 15 of us. Actually, I'll probably screen share this again. Actually. Excuse me. Another screen share moment coming up for you guys. That's from David. Bojan says, "How is your mum doing? She seems better and happier." Yeah, she's eating a bit better now. She's putting on a little bit of weight. So yeah, thanks for that, Bojan. Jeff says, "Happy birthday, Andy. Love to all your folks." Just trying to forget about my birthdays now. Richard Hedger, never heard from him before. "You're a good man, Andy. Jack, happy birthday." Richard Hedger, I don't know who that is. Hi. Oops. Thanks for your kind comment. Oops. Think we have spoken before. And Albedo, oh, he's had a bit of a go at me, so this won't be very nice. I thought you were much older, right? Must have been thrown off by your early stage dementia. Okay, very nice. Thank you very much for that. Right, let me go on to my Facebook page now. So it's just some pictures like I did yesterday of that's my family, that's my mum, that's my wife, that's me with a selfie stick, that's my brother, that's Jack Law Knives, a Wiltshire man. He's got nearly 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Adam, my eldest son, Michael, my youngest son, Steve, my brother, Robert, my brother, Robert's wife, granddaughter there, Adam's girlfriend, Michael's girlfriend, my niece Anne. What's she then? Oh, well, okay. The mother of your children. You don't believe in girlfriends, okay. That's Christopher, my nephew, and my niece. Oh. Sorry, Adam. That's Manny, my sister-in-law, which is my brother Sandy's wife. Oh, another one, another picture. Slightly different. Same people, same place. Oh, that's Christopher, and that's Christopher, my nephew. That's Kim, which is my youngest girlfriend. Lovely person, made me a lovely cake. She put so much time and effort into that cake. Just absolutely wonderful it was. That's my wife. That's Anne, my niece, and that's Adam's whatever. Kirsty, yeah.
And that's my child's mother.
Children's, I know. So I keep saying your girlfriend. That was part of the cake. I just thought I'd take a picture of that and stick it on my Facebook. That's my brother Robert. That's his wife. That's my oldest brother Stephen. That's my mother. 2 grandchildren. My mother, my poor mum. Looks a bit better. Poor old grandma. Yeah, lovely grandma. She's a good Christian lady. I owe a lot of my faith to her. She brought me up the right way to be the person which I am. Thanks, Mum. Lovely Mum. Oh, a nice little funny picture there. It's Anne. Oh, that's Ted the dog with my hat on down the beach. Oh, there he is there. Look, that's Ted again. With I just thought I'd have that in the background. Dawlish teddy bears. He's my teddy bear. That's me. Was just a little break just a few days ago. Down in Dawlish. Oh, this is a strange one. There's a cat in a pushchair. Very strange. Oh, that was a. That's my foot, and that's a jellyfish. Look at the size of it. It's really big, isn't it? And that's the B&B where we stayed. That's my car over there. That's my wife, and that's the lovely breakfast we had. Got the whole lot there, English breakfast, and that's looking out at the actual outside of the town of Dawlish. There you go, that one again. Having cornflakes this time. There's Ted. in the sea. That was kind of a strange rock formation. Now, welcome to Corryton Cove. Oh, there's me getting splashed by a wave. Got crashed behind me into a wall, and I just thought I'd try and snap it, you know, take a shot whilst it was happening. Oh, and there's Ted looking at the waves. And that railway there, that was all washed away a few years ago when they had some huge storms come in, and it battered it so bad that the railway line was actually shut for a while. And that's at Teignmouth. Colin Firth is over there somewhere filming a new film I put. Colin Firth, starting quite a few movies apparently. That's my wife and Ted. That's me and the wife. Ted on the bed. That's Dawlish itself, with a railway station over there. That's Dawlish again through the window of the B&B. Black swans of Dawlish. Ooh, Ted wants some of my sandwich. There's the wife. Ted in the water. There's me and the wife. Oh, there's Adam, my son. There's me and Adam. Oh, there's me in the chip. Yes, me in the chip shop getting my takeaway. That was just a few weeks ago. Yes, that's me taking another one. I was a bit discontent waiting for my food. There I am again. Look. Oh, there's me outside my old house in West Swindon. That's the first house we bought over there. Little place in the corner. I was stuck in a traffic jam outside Reading for about 3 hours on the way down Heathrow Airport. We was all stood outside in our cars. Been a big accident. Some guy lost his life down there. Some chap on a motorbike. The fatality. And there we are again. And another one. And another one. Oh, look at that. Look, my 2 grandchildren. Oh, and my wife and my grandchild. Oh, 2 grandchildren. 2 grandchildren. 2 grandchildren. 2 grandchildren. 2 grandchildren. 2 grandchildren. 2. Oh. Oh, back garden. There we go. Nice back garden. Oh, yes, I saw a Mark, whatever, Escort, Ford Capri. Great cars these were. Brilliant motor cars years ago. Dagenham dustbins, they call them. Ford Capri. And another one with Ted. Oh, Ted in the woods. Lovely shot. Ted again in the woods. Ted on the golf course. My friend playing golf on the golf course. Someone else on the golf course. My good buddies, Tony White and Andy Young. And there's someone else on the golf course. On the golf course. Oh, Ascot Racecourse. Ascot Racecourse. Oh, someone's bald head. Ascot. Yes, Ascot. Me at Ascot. Oh, Camcap. 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 Camcaps. Oh, deceased son's grave. Oh, right, okay. I don't know why I took that. Oh, golf grips. And wife and Ted. Oh, yeah, did some wallpapering. Very nice. Deciding on wallpaper. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure what I was trying to do there. Oh, that's right, yeah. I was a smiley kid looking at haggis thinking, haggis, lovely. I'd like some of that. Oh, ISIS, yeah, got their own transport company. Oh, there's my son Michael. My wife. Kim. Adam. Michael. Ted. Adam and the youngest one. Oh, do you see his son's grave? Oh, aisle 30 is one of my favourite aisles. Looks like Jamez. Not sure what that is. On the motorway somewhere, B&Q. Map of Westminster Bridge. Oh, right. Bacon sandwich. Me in the Shard in London having a Big Mac. Oh, food. Oh, Bible verses. Bible verses. Oh, Dragonfly. That's quite incredible, this actually. These people, we met them in Crete last year, and they'd lost their daughter. About a year before, I think it was. She was killed in a car accident. She was only about 20 years of age. And ever since she died, a dragonfly in certain places has followed this lady around, and this one just landed on her back. and she think it's like the spirit of her daughter. She's very kind of spiritual, this person, and she's, again, it's a lady who's seen things of a spiritual nature. So yeah, and she's talking about dragonflies, and lo and behold, one comes and lands on her back. It's the only one I saw, and it landed on her. Coincidence? I don't think so. Not too sure what that is. Oh, that was in Crete again. Oh, the wife asleep on a coach trip in Crete. That was in Crete. Lunchboxes, I think. Oh, goat in Crete. Someone who looks like my brother in Crete. That was a place in Crete on our last holiday last September. That was us in Crete last September. Mum, me, and my wife. Oh, that's a praying mantis. Changing a church in the middle of a little island in the sea. That's us in Crete. That was a hired car we had in Crete. Some guy playing the band with me having a drink. Paul, my wife in Crete somewhere. That was the sea. Got quite rough in the afternoons in Crete. Me wearing some silly hats in Crete. Oh, necklace. One hat. Me wearing another hat, which I bought in Crete. Food. Oh, yeah, that was the beach again. Oh, goodness me. Me wearing that hat. Look at that state of that, eh? Crikey. Oh, wow, look at that one. Oh, that's better. Oh, that's even better. Oh, what's she done there? Oh, that was me. I think I had a fall. And I fell over, I think, and hurt myself playing handball with some Russians and Germans. Yeah, it's my leg. Oh, that's better. Oh, yeah, I found a live sea snail. Lovely. Oh, that was my mum down there and my wife. That was a spread they did when we went to Crete, and that was one of the barbecue evenings. There was a hotel in Crete playing handball. That's me there, look, in my gym jacket and my shorts and my funny hat. That's the bar area. It's my mum. Ooh, snails, no thanks. That was the barbecue area. That's the hotel where we stayed in Crete. Yeah, I'm just going to whip through. Oh, mum's having a kip. Wife's having a drink. Me having a drink. Again, this is all the hotel. Oh, that big guy there, isn't it? That big belly is a Russian guy. He was Russian wrestler. Lots of drinking going on. The Jesus I Never Knew. Still got that book. Cheers. Oh, that's old Louis, our dog we lost last year. Kim and Michael. Yeah, he was a good dog. Kim and Michael. Oh, yeah. Hallie. That's Hallie and Kirsty and Adam. And again. Oh, a bit of decorating in my bedroom. One of them. Ooh. Oh, me. That's a photograph we took in the car. Kim there. It's my youngest son, my wife, and me. Being silly buggers. Having fun. Off out for a meal. Ooh. Dear, oh dear. Oh. Yeah. That's at Newbury Racecourse, I think. Yes, Newbury Racecourse. A bit of hair there going on. Yeah, myself, my wife, and Michael. It's in London somewhere, I think. Back garden with old Louis there. Look, there's old Louis. That tree's no longer there. It's gone now. Yeah, that tree. A shame. I used to like that tree. My poor tree. I watched it grow up. Louis and Ted. Yeah. Oh, Kempton Park. I'm at Kempton Park this time. Kempton Kempton Park, yeah. It's Kempton Park horse racing. Oh, I've got some new football boots, which I've never worn yet. Off out for a meal. Look at it. It was a curry night, wasn't it? It was on my birthday last year, I think. Yeah. Scranders is there. Scranders daggers. Ooh. Oh, and here we go. Back to that again. Yeah. So, anyway, look at the time, people. It's 10 past. Happy birthday to me. Happy. Who's gonna wish me happy birthday then, huh? Anyone gonna wish me happy birthday? I don't suppose so. I don't suppose they want me dead, don't they? I've got to go to work in a while. Yeah, I've got to take Gatwick Airport. I got to go to Gatwick Airport, mate. You think so? I think I ought to do that. Yeah, you might be right, mate. Don't want to be falling asleep, do I? That wouldn't do. Anyway, guys and dolls. Anyway, guys and dolls. What's interesting on Facebook? Anything at all? Got Len Pettis there, guys. We know who Len Pettis is, don't we? He's a friend of mine on Facebook. Actually, forget who it is. What's this here then? Loading. Stuff it. Can't be bothered. Probably crap anyway. Good size that poor child. That's child cruelty, that, isn't it? Feeding a child like, all that food and that. She's so big. Child cruelty. Is that Rodney, is it? This could be funny. This could be funny. Rodney falls in horses. Funny, isn't he? David Jason. Anyway, people. So, there you go. Stop sharing now. Any people watching? 6 people still watching. My goodness me. Must have been a good hangout. Yeah, so there you go, people. So, David Eriol Hickman. Let's see if he wants to come on, shall we, and just talk. Eriol. Eriol Tolkien. Send an invite out to him, see if he wants to wish me happy birthday. I'll just sit here and wait just for a minute. One, two. Do I look tired? Am I going to last it through the night, do you reckon? Am I going to be able to pick my passengers up and drop them off at Gatwick Airport, which is 100 miles away, turn it round and then come back 100 miles without falling asleep? Yeah, it could be interesting, couldn't it? I might be here tomorrow, people, and I might not be. If I'm not here tomorrow, some hospital, some morgue somewhere. So I've been up early this morning. I tried to go to bed earlier, but couldn't sleep. Couldn't sleep. One of my biggest concerns really of driving over night time is not falling asleep, it's actually having a bloody deer run out in front of me. Some big buggers out there, I tell you, you see them on the side of the road, you see them splat on the motorway, all up the M4. And there was one, actually, I'll tell you a story whilst I'm waiting for someone to come on. It's going back about 10 years, I suppose now. And I was on the way to Marlborough Golf Club. And the route I took was across the downs, across the Marlborough Downs. It's kind of, it's like a Serengeti out there. It's like wilderness and lots of it. And at the time I was driving a black cab, and my dog was in the back where the passengers sit, and he knew how to open the window to get his paw and slide it across. And as I was heading towards Marlborough, I could see in the distance something in the road, and I couldn't make out what it was until I got closer. I thought, goodness me, it's a horse or it's a cow. But I got closer and I stopped. I looked at it, and it was a deer. It was absolutely humongous. It must have weighed over a ton, 2 ton or whatever. It was like a full-grown cow. It was massive, and it was dead, obviously. And it had been hit by a car. And I thought, whatever's hit that, the car's a write-off. The car is a total write-off. It's like hitting a bloody cow. Big thing it was, with all the horns and everything going on. So I stopped. And I looked at it, I thought, big deer. Then I drove off another mile, got to the golf club. Golf clubs are in the back with the dog. Stopped the car, took the keys out, got the golf club. Golf clubs, no dog. Oh my God, where's he gone? I thought, right, he's back there, looking at the deer or sniffing around it. Because at the time, he was Louis, his name was, our dog. He was a rescue dog. We got him from a rescue center, and he was wild. He was an absolute handful for the first year or so. He was so bouncy, so lively, very destructive, as young boxers are. So I went back to try and find him, and I couldn't find him anywhere at all. So then I went down to the local police station in Marlborough, and it reported lost dog. And I got a phone call from my brother, and he said to me, "Are you missing a dog?" I said, "Yes, where is he?" He said, "Well, he's in the vets in Swindon." He said, "Don't worry, he's okay. Just that someone was driving along and they saw this dog eating a deer." It's my dog. So anyway, then I rushed along and then I went and got him. So I've invited Eriol Tolkien on. I think he's not going to even bother to come on, I don't think. Let me just check my... Just check my video a moment. Right, a moment. Right, any more comments? Show us a ghost. I got to say that you don't, Bojan Todorovic, I got to say you don't sound like someone who believes. You sound like someone who is trying to convince everyone to be true. No, I want everybody to believe, but it comes for you by revelation. It's as simple as that. Because I've had revelation. If I knew that God is real, like you said, well, everyone knows that, Bojan, everyone knows that God is real. Okay. If you understand science, then that points in a direction, because the default setting is that God exists. You just got to look around you. Everything that functions, okay, has a creator. Everything that functions, it's been created, okay, by human beings. We play as God. We can also do this in the biological ways as well. We can actually create life, you know, through you know, embryos and all this kind of thing. In a lab, we can do that. So we actually can manipulate things, you know, to become of a certain sex, of a certain male, female, that kind of thing. You know, Dolly the sheep, for instance. You know, we've done this, so we are actually playing God. It just goes to show that you need intelligence to create life, and that's demonstrated in the lab. God Himself is in and He's created life because He's able to do that. You know, the universe doesn't get there by itself. Life cannot spontaneously just erupt out of nothing. A primordial soup, we don't know where that was, we don't know what it consisted of. You know, it simply doesn't work. And Dean Kenyon, a guy who's worked many years as a professional, trying to work out how life became, but he found out for himself that it was not true. That's how science works. You know, we sometimes we have to go against the things which we hold, you know, dear to ourselves, to our heart. We think this is a truth. It's tradition. You're going to break away from the traditional things. We've got to experiment with things, and we've got to come up with a scenario that, you know, even if we don't like it, we've got to accept it. It's as simple as that. And there is no explanation for the origin of matter and energy. There's no explanation for the origin of life. But when you put God in the scenario, then, you know, that's where the explanation lies. He says, if I knew God is real, like you said, you do, I couldn't give a rat's arse about someone who doesn't. I would just smile and pity them, like I pity the people who believe that the earth is flat. Yeah, well, I don't believe the earth is flat. That was a satire video. I caught a lot of people out from that, and they got a little bit butthurt, you know. And I really think that they thought that I was being real about that video, because I let like 4 or 5 scientifically stupid things, scenarios, which I try to pass off as I was good at acting. I acted the part very well, probably too well, and they thought I was real. I kept a straight face. I was very serious about what I was doing, and people believed me, although I was talking about flat light and round light and square light and other things as well. You know, I even used a bloody mousetrap for it as a Briggs refractometer, and they believed it was a real Briggs refractometer. You know, so they're all kind of butthurt now that they didn't catch on with the joke, that they got caught out and they thought that I was real. You know, you just got to think flat light, round light, square light. What's he talking about? You know, there's no such things as these things, you know, and unfortunately they didn't see the joke. They thought I was being real. If they'd have only understood that it was scientifically impossible to get these things. I think I'm dealing with first graders here, and understand this is not everyone wants to live forever, including me. I don't want to live forever. Your religion, I haven't got religion, I've got faith, because a religion is another person who thinks that religion is faith. I've not got religion. I don't go to church. Religion tells you to do things. You've got to do this and you've got to do that. If you don't do this and don't do that, you're going to go to eternal hell punishment. That is what religion is. I don't believe in that. I've got faith. Faith is a religion that put Christ on the cross. Religious people put him up there. That's the reason why when Christ comes back, first thing he's going to do, destroy religion. Babylon will be over in an hour. Babylon is the religious systems of the world, whether it's going to be Hinduism, the Muslims, or whatever, or some parts of Christianity, funnily enough. Your religion only appeals to people who are afraid of their mortality. Death, where is thou sting? That's what Paul the Apostle says. You know, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. That's what Paul the Apostle says. The Christian, Paul the Apostle. The believer, Paul the Apostle. I'm the same. You know, death does not... I'm afraid to die because the pain of it You know, that's what I'm kind of afraid of. I'm not afraid of death itself. That's a natural thing. I'm not afraid of natural things. What I'm afraid of is how I'm going to die. That's the bit I don't like, you know. And I think most people are probably the same. You know, I'm not afraid of dying, but I'm afraid, you know, how I'm going to die. You know. Death is a fact of life. It's natural as breathing. Correct. Totally with you there. Atheists are the boogeyman, constantly reminding you of what you already know. That is the true reason why we are disliked. I honestly wish that you could live forever. Don't want to live forever. Not in this present state. But I kind of have a feeling that if would be the curse, if would be a curse, not a gift. And remember, the 50s are the new 40s. Perhaps. Mark the Annoyer. You in this video couldn't get any more like Jason Burns if you tried. Another insult. Nothing very scientific there. There you go. What else do you expect, though? Gluteus. Why isn't Jesus? I've already read that one. Any new comments? Mark Annoyer. Good pair of stupid proof waiters. Huh? You know, it's I'd have expected some kind of a more learned, more academic questions coming my way, apart from these just insults, just to try and knock me down, to try and beat me down. You know, it ain't gonna work. I'm not going to give up the truth and go into untruth like where you guys are. That's like me coming from the bank and jumping into a bloody shit pit. I've just crawled out of a shit pit, thanks very much. I don't want to go back in again. Anyway, anyone turned up yet? Nobody turned up. What's the point? What's the point? I mean, I've completely annihilated Eriol Tolkien here with his argument. I wish I could find his. I'm just going to look for it again, just once more. Let's go into my videos a moment. Oh, I just want to try and find that. I'm up to 490 views now, so it's creeping up. 37 replies. Please let it be here. Fancy that, eh? He's been and deleted his own post to show himself not to be the idiot which he is. Fancy getting beaten by an old... No, it's not there. Oh dear, fancy getting beaten by a creatard, eh? Having to go to the low points of deleting your own posts. How pathetic. And you think that you guys think you're the king of science. We got all the evidence. You need to wake up, guys. You haven't got all the evidence. You've got no evidence whatsoever. Nothing. Diddly squat. Here's one here. Look, we got Jamped Jim. He says to me, I'm going to rip this one for future enjoyment, and he has gone full mental. You know, again, it's just another one of these stupid, low-life comments you get, you know, nothing new. And then I say to him, okay, so you believe I'm wrong here. Can you supply me the following to prove me wrong and prove yourself right? 1, mechanism for energy and matter. 2, mechanism for life. A bit more. That'll do for starters. We will see who's right and wrong here. Then he comes back to me and he says, your ignorance of how science works as a mechanism for discovering the truth is more than evidence here. Well, that's how we understand how things work or not. It's through evidence. And then he goes on to say, I need to provide nothing as I am not making any claim. It's a cop-out, isn't it? So he's okay to throw stones at me, call me an idiot, but when I say to him, okay, why am I an idiot? And then he can't give me the evidence. He says, I need to provide nothing as I'm not making any claim one way or another. And even if no such evidence exists, it doesn't automatically mean that a mystery magic man did it. Well, it does. I'm sorry, but it does. If it's not A, you've got two choices, A or B. Let's say naturalistic causes or supernatural causes. If there's no naturalistic cause, what's left? There's no third option. What is left? It's either natural or it's supernatural. We know it's not natural. The existence of energy and matter, the existence of life. So therefore, it's got to be, if it's not natural, it's, yeah. What's the point? And he goes, talking about fish. P.Z. Myers thinks we're actually still fish. Okay, Dawkins thinks we're monkeys. Aaron Ra thinks we're monkeys. Myers thinks that we're fish. Monkey fish. What are you, monkey or fish? Then Jim Jant says, or Jamped Jim says, I'm not sure that it is. Well, you've got to understand what these professors are teaching. But if he doesn't even know, does he? He's not seen the videos, he's not read any of his material. Oh, what's the point of these people, man? Drive me batshit. Right. Where's Tolkien? Where are you little bit? What's it? You've gone and deleted your bloody post. What a freaking chicken. I've invited him onto the hangout, doesn't come on. Douglas McDouglas is back. Because I tell the truth, it makes me your enemy, does it? Well, perhaps I should live in lies then, just to get on with people. People are going to an eternity lost. Eriol Tolkien, usually. Oh, hang on a minute. What have we got here? I think I've uncovered something. Ah, here we go. We found it. Hooray! I've actually found it at last. Why the hell did it not turn up earlier then? Right. One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. Yep, still working. Right, here's the argument. Let's just see if I can get just the start of it a little bit. Evolution is abiogenesis is not covered by evolution. I know that, but regardless of the basis, complex. Eriol Tolkien, your answer has never been verified, and you call that science? No wonder. This is me then. No wonder no one takes atheists seriously. They don't serious. Well, and then he comes back to you and says, well, it is firstly dishonest to say that no one takes atheists seriously, but to your ignorance. A bit more. It was conducted in 1952 after Millie's death in 2007. Signing exam and seal This is it. So those preserved from the original experiment were able to show that there were actually well over 20 different amino acids produced in Miller original experiment. That is considerably more than what Miller originally reported. Blah blah blah. Clearly, I know more of the history of science too. You argue from ignorance in favor of confessional bias, and you wonder why fewer and fewer people take theists seriously. And then me obviously doing my study on this, I say to him, do you know what dehydration synthesis is? Well, no matter how many amino acids you have, they cannot organize themselves into a polypeptide to create proteins. Therefore, your comment is fucked. Your worldview is pathetic. Okay, then he can't come back to me. He simply says he cannot refute what I said there. Assertion is not assertion. I showed a video earlier which proved, without a shadow of a doubt, time and time and time again, they've done experiments, and it proves me correct and him incorrect, and Miller-Urey to be their experiment to be defunct. Then he says, argument from ignorance. Oh man, cling to your confessional investment in the myth, like a clearly emotional and dishonest coward you have become. Toodaloo. And then he's gone. Yeah, I say yeah. That's it. Run off with your tail between your legs. That told you, didn't it? Huh? You know, I mean, he honestly hasn't got a clue. You ask him a question, you know, he calls me out, calls me an idiot, he calls me all these kind of names, and then you say, okay, then show me my error. And then he comes up with the Miller-Urey experiment, and I counter argue that with another argument, which, you know, experiments which have done time and time and time again, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years after, you know, Miller's experiment. We know it's false. We know it didn't happen, but he still clings on to it. He's indoctrinated. He's the indoctrinated one. He's the one who is not open-minded, who's closed-minded, not willing to accept that there is any possibility of a creator out there. You know, so it's sad, people. It really is sad. Anyway, I hope you can, next time you talk to Eriol Tolkien, or whatever his name is, or Hickman, you can tell him that he was invited onto this hangout. He didn't come on to discuss this matter. And you can also tell him that he's wrong about the Miller-Urey experiment, and he's got to understand what dehydration synthesis is. I can't say it properly. And dehydration reaction is a chemical reaction. The dehydration effect drives amino acids together. That's what it does. But as soon as you add water, the linkages are broken. They synthesize as they dry together, and then they can come together. But they've got to come together in the correct form. And it's a cell which does that to create proteins. All right. So they've got to come together in the correct sequence. As soon as you add water to that, to the synthesized amino acids, they then break apart. And they've got to dry out, and then they come back together again. It's a chemical reaction. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyway, that's it for now, people. Happy birthday to me. Happy, thank you, Adam. Bye for now.